Okay, this is new. So we're going to call our meeting to order for the Southern Guam Soil Water Conservation District. Regular board meeting with partners. Today is Wednesday, April 13th. The time is 3:09 p.m. We are conducting our meeting in person at the University of Guam's College of Natural and Applied Sciences Building 104. Did I miss anything? No, right? Okay. So I want to thank you guys for making the effort to come. This is 2 years in the making, right? So, oh yeah, definitely. And I forgot to mention, but we're also streaming live, and we also have a Zoom link, correct? Okay, so can we get the roll call? Who's gonna?
Chairman Michael Luggins.
Present.
Vice Chair Angelita Mendiola. Director Carol Tayama. Director Glenn Takara.
Not here today.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move that we excuse Glenn Takara. He did mention to us.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Thank you. And then read the partners.
Yes, well, Erica Pangilinan, present, and
Margaret Tenorio present.
then maybe we can just go around the room and everyone will take their.
Start review. You're my target. You're right.
My name is Peggy Wall, and from the University of Guam, Cooperative Extension and glad to be here.
Hello, I'm Jane Dia. I'm with the Department of Agriculture, Division of Aquatic and Wildlife Resources, the Guam Hooker Education Program.
May I ask, Mr. Chair, that everybody speak louder because on the land?
Good to hear me?
Yes.
That's better.
But
All right, my name is Buck Jolly. I am with USDA Wildlife Services.
thank you. Okay, my name is Christian Benitez, with the Bureau of Statistics and Population Management Program.
I'm Michael Jordan. I'm with the U.S. Forest Service.
You always seem to be the last one.
Chair, I'd like to know.
Is there anybody on the Zoom? We got some.
Yes, we have some participants on the Zoom meeting link that was provided on request. We have Adrian Lorendell and Yvonne Manguania. Can you folks hear us?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Have they seen my face?
Were they muted? Or did they mute them?
Well, they responded to the
Okay.
chat. Yes.
So on the chat, they confirmed that they can hear us.
They're good? Okay. All right, so we do have a forum, by the way, so we will proceed. Start off with our committee reports.
Well, Mr. Chair, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Approval of the meeting agenda.
I move that we approve the meeting agenda as presented.
Any discussion on that? No? Okay, all in favor of approving meeting agenda? Aye. Okay. Thank you. Okay, move on to the next item. Approval of meeting minutes for March 2nd, 2022.
I move that we approve the minutes for 22. I second.
Any discussion?
I just want to say thank you to Erica for sending the minutes in advance. We have time to go over it and we make correction even before the final. So, yes. Yeah. I'm taking the motion.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Committee reports. So, first one would be budget and finance, and I'm going to go ahead with that. Closing out the second quarter, this is some of the items that we'd like to bring up. We received from UOG only about 16% of our appropriation, which should be a total of $100,233. We've only gotten 16% of that. We've expended almost triple that amount. Largest expenses are, of course, personnel and meetings, representation. Nonetheless, we are on track and well within our approved budget, so we're still functioning as is. We just need to work with DOT trying to secure the remainder of our budget. You want to check on that? The good news is we've identified and acquired additional funding to support our mission and conservation program initiatives, almost equal to our general fund appropriation. So that's it. And then anything else on that? No, we're good, right? Okay.
I have a question on that. If it's not on board, can I ask a question regarding the 100,000 is that for FY22? I mean, we have the money in the fund, right? It's just a release from UOG or appropriation from the legislature.
The 16%.
The 100%. I mean, the 100,000.
Yes, that is our approved
Yeah, but is it in the UOG already or is it pending?
It's pending release. Pending release from DOE.
That doesn't sound good. We need to follow up
Yeah.
with that because, with all that everybody wants, families, everybody's comfort. So it's good to follow up. If we need to know that the UOG get this 100,000 into our account, it will really help us with our mission.
Okay, let the record show that Dr. Barber checked in. Hey, Doc, it's been a while. Hey, I gotta leave soon, but I thought I'd come home. Thank you. Okay. To the next item there would be the annual report update, finalizing details and layout of our 2021 annual report. The board approved the reprint of our previous annual reports just so that we can have some in our archive library. And we will keep you guys posted.
So we have not totally complete. I was just thinking if we should give our partners.
Yes, we will, and we're just finalizing the layout and the minor details. But we do have our other annual reports that we will read.
So Dr. Bomber,
Yes, at the University of Guam.
This is from this board, right?
Pretty well,
Except the
2017.
17.
Really 2019.
No. That's my donate, by the way.
There it is again.
Okay, so that concludes the Budget and Finance Committee report. Move on to education and outreach.
Okay, I'm in charge of this. On March 27, 2022, we partnered with Inland Mayor Charter. There was a lot of debris, a lot of trash on the Alton Bear Rock Bay. And so he already initiated the plan to do a cleanup and partner with GCC students. But then we jump in and do a budget planning, donated supplies. Thank you for your budget. And we also did help out with some of the supplies. And then most of our team were there to helping the students clear all the debris. And I asked the mayor, I said, are people in the wrong hand by the right on the bay where they're dumping their trucks in there? And he doesn't think so because a lot of the debris that they picked up, there's some that are coming from the Japanese rising. So it's got to be for some fishing boats that they must have thrown overboard and it fired into the bay. So I don't know if we need to work with the Coast Guard or whoever to remind this stuff of fishing boats to keep their traps in their boats and not in the water. So we're just based on what we found, there's a lot in Japanese because it's all Japanese writing according to the mayor. So it's very nice if you're going down to Iran and you look right there on the gate, you see it's really nice that we clean up that place. So we're happy that we were able to participate in that.
Mr. Chair, may I just add that coastal management was very, they donated a lot of supplies. And thank you to Christian Benitez for helping us communicate that to that specific division.
Yes, thank you very much. We passed there just this past weekend. We're moving up again. That's the way we do it. Yes. So maybe we should maybe collaborate with the alumni mayor maybe every 3 months, every 6 months like that. So it won't be too hard. There's a big tray of fill up with trash. Just small. Oh, there, that's. The GCC students were really good. I think there's a boy coming along and that the mayor asked this boy to coordinate the transportation. They were really good.
Yes, and the chairman, that's the chairman in the middle of the.
We want to make sure we're in the picture.
Good for
Evidence. Okay, the CIS company was held April 5th to April 9th, which is just last week. And our soil water conservation district, we're very happy that we were able to be one of the main sponsors. And our chairman, Mike, was in the panel and he spoke about food security. So we're just, a team, soil water, Southern Soil Water Conservation District. We are in full support with the UOG CIS. And if you want to check the highlight, just check their website. Dr. Shelton highlighted our work with CIS to improve the growing initiative. We help out in, when they were planting all these native trees along the riverbank and the Ugambi bank. Yes. Our soil water conservation district was there. Paving the way because Dr. Shelton's staff were having problems with the private landowners, so Linda Ray just went there and paved the way. Then you better do it. So they were able to get into private properties. As Stuart said, we announced this at our last meeting, or meeting before the last. It's going to happen April 24 to May 1st. So we do have some activities planned. Martha and Erica have been meeting and planning that. So we'll be contacting you partners to collaborate so we can make it a meaningful stewardship. That's my report, Mr. Chair and partners.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move to the next one, legislative and policy. We're going to cover.
Okay, Glenn Price submitted his report, I'll just read it out. Okay. It's spring fly-in session. Spring fly-in is when conservation districts are encouraged to meet with their Congress representatives to inform of their local needs so that way districts can continue to receive support needed to protect and conserve the nation's natural resources. Here are the district's priorities. In regards to federal appropriation, advocate for full authorized funding for Farm Bill Conservation Program, which is $1.2 billion. For CTA, $200 million for watershed protection and flood prevention, and $75 million watershed rehabilitation. Number 2, USDA NFS, $300 million state and private forestry program, and $30 million forest stewardship program. That's your budget. Mr. Forrester.
The national
$200 million section 319 non-point source management program. Plenty money for conservation initiative, and surely what we're doing is also ensuring one is included to get a piece of the pie. Other federal programs and initiatives, we are continuing to push forward include initiatives to address climate change, forestry and wildlife management. Farm Bill Task Force update.
I'll do that because I'm actually assigned to the Farm Bill Task Force for the National Association of Conservation Districts. I was just appointed here in February for an annual meeting. And we did have a couple of meetings already. The main thing there was that we have, and this is referencing to that spring fly-in also, right? Because, you know, this is for the Congress, right? So, our national NACD has developed a list of, they call it principles, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down to 11. So anyways, those would be listing the priority areas that they want to emphasize in the Farm Bill. And so we went through all of those. And the one thing I just wanted to mention, this one is that it affects not just me, but a lot of farmers out here in the Pacific and Guam, and come to find out other areas, right? That we found out. It's about being that locally led leadership, right, and making decisions on the ground in the territory, in the states, and all that, right? So when you have all these programs and you want the farmer to meet the criteria to get in there, but their criteria, like, it doesn't match up, right? And so what happens, you know, the farmer loses interest and doesn't get involved, and you don't do conservation. So we're trying to push to get that thing where the local office and local like districts or whoever, however we decide to manage that, make those calls, can help. So there's like an alternative way of getting their approval, you know. So, and this is throughout the territories and others, even the Indian reservations and others. So, yeah. So it became pretty. Once we brought it up in the meeting, everybody else said, "Oh yeah, we got that same issue and all that." So now they were gonna just put it on the lower totem pole agenda, but then lucky one of the guys there, I forgot his name. He's one of the main organizers, I guess, on this thing. He chimed in before we moved on. That he said we need to put this in now in the principles. So they're going to be a part. That's going to be part of that. So that's going to be a top priority going forward as we advocate for the Farm Bill. So hopefully that helps us here in Guam and other areas. Okay, that's it for
So
that.
Mike, I'm sorry. I know that you're holding a position, MACD position, right? To try to get all the Pacific Islands together, right? And that NACD president might be coming out to Guam to meet with different island leaders in the different islands. So is that something that was discussed at the meeting?
Yes, well, not in that meeting, but that was.
That's fine.
But yeah, that's coming up. We'll talk a little bit about that. Yeah, so we've been pushing ourselves out there. We've been making ourselves well known, so we've been good.
I'm not sure whether the Pacific Islands, the different islands, whether they have their own conservation districts or they do. I don't know. Maybe something to look into. I just heard that Norola just had the first organizational meeting about 2 weeks ago. So I called Rhoda and asking for the list of the officers or the contact numbers. Wow. I understand that CNMI, soil water conservation districts are not funded by government. So that's why they never show up for conferences. They don't have the money. They're a non-profit organization. I think that's how they are organized. I'll continue to follow them up and I'll continue trying to get hold of the president of vice president of FFM. And we'll see what we can do to get.
Thank you for that. That is a big initiative on our part. Okay, are we done? That's it, right?
Yes, that is Mr. Chair, that is when legislative policy.
Okay, so our last district committee is district operations.
Okay. thing I have here is a reminder that the Southern Water Conservation District election is happening on August 16, 2022. And our committee's priorities to update our member listing, and we will launch the initiative at the end of this month. We will continue to host 2 meetings a month on the 1st and 3rd, but subject to change in case of any conflicting events. Mr. Chair had mentioned earlier that the NACD, they met with leadership with NACD and NRCS team, and they were able to narrow a date of their anticipated travel up here. We're looking at a window of June 15th through the 30th. We hope that they can be able to make it. And right now we are working on specific agenda items and site visits, as they will probably only be here a couple of days. They do plan to meet with federal partners as well, and
Yeah, so anyways,
Mr. Chair, would you like to add?
the chief or whatever they call it for the NACD is both trying to be here at the same time with the National Association of Conservation Districts president and the executive committee, right? Several of our leadership in the national are planning to be here in June, hopefully. June is the tentative date, June 6th, the middle to the end. There's nothing set. So we do need to make some plans, and we hope you guys can participate and maybe help with anything, in case we have some kind of agenda going. We're not yet sure because we're still talking to them, how much time they have and what they're going to be able to do when they're here. But if there's anything that you feel you guys would want to be a part of, then we'll let you know too. This would be like a first, right? Now, you've been here longer than us.
Well, it's the first time we're.
First time, right? So that would be great, especially for NACD. That's, hopefully we get it done. Oh,
Mr. Chair, I just hope that maybe we should start collaborating so that when they come, we can fill out their plates with what concerns we have and what they can bring to help us with whatever concern, whatever matters is important to us. And not wait just until we have our annual meeting next year in February. So I think partners, we're thinking about it, and maybe we could just call special meetings to put all our concerns, our recommendations, our problems, what solution that they can help us with. So remember, and then, maybe Erica, I don't know, Mr. Chair, I'm just suggesting that we should just call a special meeting for this while we give the partners time to start putting together something that we want to put on this VIP people's plate, and they can make it happen. That's very good.
well, that's a good idea, and just a reminder that it's not only our NACD user, but the NRCS. So that's the USDA's, Resource Conservation Services grant. So those are the areas of any kind of thing that we need to address in those. That would be perfect. So, okay, we will figure out some way to organize that. Okay, so that concludes the district subcommittee reports. So can we get a motion to approve our report?
So, Mr. Chair, that we accept all of the subcommittee chair people's.
Second, thank you, Carol. So any further discussion or input on that? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna move on, and then we can do that. Okay. We still do that motion? So we're gonna go move on to partners. You gotta leave, Doc, we can put you. Okay. I thought maybe we would do the report.
Oh, I can. Oh, God.
So, you usually
I'll say something and then you'll chime in. How about that? Okay.
So we're
You don't
good?
mind?
Yeah.
I'll report and then he'll do all the stuff on this.
Well, green night is on the 20th. It was postponed because of the wind. It will still be from 4 to 8. And then my coworkers, they got lost their grants.
Maybe I hope you ask.
You can't hear me at all? I just, I got the second. Okay, so Jesse and Bob, they have a grant to work with some of the folks. I don't remember all the names, but I know that Mike's one. It's 5, I gave it, but it's 5 future trainees, development firm. But Bob said in a nutshell, it's a professional producer grant with a co-op to provide the old ADAP market information system for use by the co-op in production monitoring. So there, from what I understand, it's to build a production and monitoring harvest protection program for the co-op. Okay. Yeah. You wrote this. Okay. And then Dr. Kwan, he has something called Western Region Agriculture Stress Assistance Program, and that they'll have a conference, and the theme of the conference is farmer focus, cultivating health and wellness with our farming community. So it's kind of like research to grassroots therapy, looking at value added products. And then Leo, the animal scientist, has another one that promotes heat stress awareness and animal nutrition for egg and hog production in the Western region. It's a professional development program to talk about heat stress and how it affects animal production around the region and potential ways to mitigate, as well as more animal nutrition education to help animal production. Well, if you have any questions about so Mark Costa and Bob, they also have a professional producer grant named Inspire to update and modernize the old WSARE and ADAP portable extension office for program literature exchange people. I don't know if you guys, people is great. Anyway, I'm not here to really cover it. And then Bob and Mark are going to, they have another Western Sarah grant, the Renewable Resource Extension Act, 11,000 for agroforestry outreach.
Yeah, that last was not a segment.
Oh.
Is, Bob Schlutman got his money, he just spent it.
Oh, Bob Schlutman?
Yeah, but we changed it, he threw it away, we picked it up, wrote a whole new plan. That exactly mirrors the agroforestry performance of the GACD strategic plan. And linking with partners, NRCS and others to try to get them to utilize and put the food practices in setting up subsistence agriculture. And getting mayors and others to use food producing perennials and village landscapes instead of landscape. And it's if you read it, it'll read a lot like the GACD strategic plan on the agricultural component. And it pretty much made it to mirror each other. So that we have within our program. And she got the other. I don't know much about Quan's thing, and I don't know much about Leo's. But the other two were just full grass that the co-op wanted to get a phone call based production monitoring. What we got the grant. I didn't expect to get both of them. And then Mark wanted to. We talked in the past. One of our grants has been looking at having one water district set up an online library of agriculture information for the region. Well, it won't be. You guys can mirror it, but this will be basically a website, and it'll update the old people site, which had every relevant publication we can find generated in the region for agriculture and families at an extension level and get it on a CD. Now we're going to try to put it on the web and link it to YouTube and others. And we'll reach out not just to extension service, but the Department of Ag, Forest Service, all the other organizations as well to try to find tropical island relevant extension information, outreach information. Mark will be Jesse's leading one, Mark's leading another. I'll help, but it's their problem. They have to do the reporting. And they have to I help them get it, and I'll help them figure out what to do. But I'm not doing it.
Good.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
you know, many times in our partners meeting, value added, is always, they always bring it up. And I wonder whether the university can look into the cottage industry rules and regulation law, because we do have a very stringent policy of law compared to other jurisdictions. So maybe we can work to kind of relax, because it's very difficult to get a permit. Because it's very, from my understanding, from other past meetings, that it's very stringent. So you think you can volunteer, Dr. Bob?
No, I think Juan's grant is going to be holding the listening session. You guys need to participate in the listening session with Juan's value-added grant, and that would go on. I would say what you really want to do is look at the WISE legislation, just try to, and maybe that could be one of the outputs of Juan's grant you guys can bring forward. Could we look at the cottage kitchen acts of Hawaii and see if we could possibly sponsor or get our legislative members to sponsor similar legislation. But that would be the kind of outcome that will come out at once. It's not just one. The rest are the Tanisha's involved, Dr. Yang's involved, Juan's on it. So it would be, I would say, similar to that grant to get them.
Can we make a note on that, and we can ask them to kind of look into and see?
Right. Ask them to come to your next meeting and present on their grant, because they'll start getting money in May for that grant. So you guys have to come to your meeting and you direct. We've already got Jesse and Mark as captive audiences who will go up and through the GACD. Now, call one and we can go on to the other.
And also, Mr. Chair, I don't know whether it's brewing or it's already a policy about ranchers collecting garbage from various restaurants on island. I think now that you have to have a license or something, I don't know.
Actually, it's always been there. You've always had to have a permit, a sanitary permit. The restaurant place is just, it wasn't.
So maybe what we need is to collaborate with partners that can provide guidance to all these ranchers as to what needs done. And I understand why they're having this policy is to, keep all the animals out there healthy. But if they don't know, they don't know. So how can we address this? How can we reach out to the ranchers? I know they have an association of ranchers. If we can help them, so who can conduct this workshop that you want?
Actually, it would be Leo who would.
Dr. Leo?
Dr. Leo and Dr. Yang who are involved. If you wanted someone from the university, and I would just reach out to Tom's group.
Or even have a conversation. Maybe you can check who can. We can do this. If people don't know, they don't know. And I know that a lot of them are picking up garbage from different restaurants. So can we look into that and we do this for my outreach program? Okay, thank you.
People a lot of stuff. I refuse to engage because they've been doing it on WhatsApp, and I'm just not going to engage any longer on WhatsApp. If you send me an email, I'll respond. Well, they sent me an email about 3 days ago, and I'm actually called me yesterday, but I was in a meeting. I got to call them back. But I know they're all over this. Yeah. And I think you guys should just partner with them so that when they say their name, they can say your name, and you can help to recruit people for. I think they're trying to actually get some modifications that will put some systems producers below a certain number of heads. They're trying to get exempt from this thing.
But it's something that they should know. And what,
Do you think that that's a good idea, just having exemptions, or why not just train them?
The training is,
Yeah.
I mean, the public health permit is so minimal that I honestly think we should, I think Angie's right, I think you guys are right, we should be doing the trainings and get it out there.
Yeah.
We used to do those original small interest trainings, we had a session just on this, okay, said what was the necessary process, it's not onerous,
It's not to find ways to not be in compliance. Man.
Right, it's just, it's so easy to do this and be in compliance, and then you'll have a competitive advantage to the rest of the water work.
And then once you got it, you got it.
Yeah, exactly. It's not that hard. It's not like it's inside out here.
Mr. Chair, I also just would like to ask UOG to, or request UOG to make sure that the election process for soil water, which will take place on August 16th, that we are following all the dates. Okay, because we need to do all the things that we've done for this election.
First is
And
be
we
a
already have
membership roster.
Yeah, we have.
We did talk to Chelsea, right? Well, was
The
this me?
bonafide farmers.
Yeah, I did meet with her a few weeks ago.
What was the response?
Well, she said she's willing to help.
No, that's not
Yeah.
membership.
Well, you could keep their list of qualified farmers.
So, yeah, we're just gonna follow up again. Because that's what she asked.
I just want university to make sure, since you are the one charged with the election, that all the due dates already established it and we submitted it to you guys. So just make sure. Erica put it submitted to Dr. Bob, I think.
You can do it to me, you can give it
I'm the
to me.
president.
Well, you can do it to me, I wouldn't go to the president, always go to the dean before you go to the president.
Chain of command.
Yeah, the president will ignore you, I mean, he'll send you right back to the dean, so.
So maybe we just want to make sure that we're in compliance with the law. Governing. At least we know the day of the election, but there's a lot of things that's gonna happen before the election.
Right.
Right, you gotta announce it, you gotta nominate, you gotta announce for nomination, you gotta have the nomination, you got to announce the candidates in a certain amount of time, and you gotta set the date of the election. You gotta have people present for the election, make sure no campaign, no site.
Yes, that's very important. We don't want the incident that happened the last election to happen again.
And that
We
would,
need to keep the candidates away from the poll.
yeah, the candidates should be.
Yeah.
Should be in the parking lot or around here.
Yes. Thank you. I just want to call that to your attention so that we don't do last minute. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
That, you guys are good? Doc, you're good? Alright. So I just wanted to, just to mention Rollins, you know, I know some of us here have been keeping track with him and all that, and just wanted to mention, you know, Jesus, pray and support for his,
He's in great.
his
shape.
health and recovery. So,
Keep him in prayer.
okay. Thank you for that. Okay, so Jane, you were the first one to sign.
Okay, I was thinking that you should go first.
So, thank you for being patient.
Yes.
So we're excited, we put out a press release for our first Let Us Hunt.
Yes.
It's a mentor hunt idea. So our previous participants in our basic safety class, we had safety hunters and new hunters in there, and we wanted them to have an opportunity to hunt together. So we're looking for a month that the experienced hunters will pick out someone who's improving their hunting skills. We're giving the instructor, the teacher, a task card, and for every new hunter they pick out, they get another task card for new hunters. And each new hunter we get a deer tag. And so we just wanted to see, you know, connecting people to hunt together. So we offered this one for the first time, and if it goes well, then we'll pretty much have it the year round, just to give people connections of who they did hunt with. So we do have 2 new hunters that would like to go out, and we're looking for some experienced hunters who have taken our basic hunter safety class or an online hunter education certification course. And also, we're offering a new online course, and if they email me, I give them a passcode so they can get their certification for free. If they don't email me, it's a $30 fee to do an online only basic hunter safety course. We're also offering in-person courses now. So our next course is going to be here at UOG in 127, and that's for 13 years old and up, May 28th. Yeah, and then we're also hosting our first hunter focus group. I just talked to our facilitator and we're getting probably the adjunct mayor's office to, for a venue. And so we would like that June 4. For your big things to happen. So I'm glad. We're going to look at June 4. Hunter focus group is to talk all together in the hunting community about, ways they can contribute to resource management, also helping us develop new activities. And so we're hoping to host a nice time where they go through the questions and also help us develop some of our field practicals for our class. So it's exciting. Our agency, though, we're hosting a Earth Day event April 23rd. So just to let you know, we're having it at E-House Beach Park. So it's our annual Earth Day event from 9 to 12:30. And the flyer has been made. We'll pass it to Erica so that you can have the information. So it's Earth Day, and we wanted to invite the Marine Cruiser there so they can do fishing demonstrations. Yes.
What day was that?
Saturday, April 23rd. From 9 to 12:30.
Are we able, is it like a booth, kind of outreach booth set up?
Well, this is supposed to be an ag event, so all of our divisions are on deck. So they didn't have her call out for partners, but I can always ask.
Stewardship week is just the next day.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
really,
I, they told us it's our ag sector event, so we weren't calling out partners. I don't know, I'm not coordinating it, so you can just ask the director.
That would have been beautiful with that tied into the stewardship.
I know. I don't know, but yeah, so those were some
we use
events.
that to kick off our signature. I don't know where, so we'll look into it.
Yeah, that's all I know. It was announced as our ag, all our divisions have to be there. So we're excited, hope it works out, and thanks everybody here for all your support. If you do know any hunters that are interested in picking out a couple of hunters, and we can pair them up. Trying to choose.
I hope it works out because it sounds very interesting, especially how we can younger people.
Yes.
So when you want to do that, do you take anybody that you know yourself that wants, or do you have like a list of people that are doing this?
It could go either way. So
And
people
then-
who are interested would contact me.
Okay.
And they have to have taken a basic hunter safety course or online hunter ed course. So we're trying to partner with people who already know their safety standards, so that way it's the same time. Just trying to incorporate more opportunities to hunt for people who have taken.
I don't know whether your program can handle like all this chicken running around the villages. People want to catch them, but they don't know how to catch them, how they're going to shoot them. So I'm just thinking out loud.
So air rifle group are interested in the idea of
Yeah, that would be nice.
take out, but right now it's not a game species, and I'm not really sure, but it was mentioned
It's a
to
barrel.
use air rifle, so then that way more people.
Because you open boxes
I
a
used
lot.
to do that just for the sport. Just do it. Yeah, it's fun.
And nuisance species are not.
I wonder if the mayor's office can do that for their own village, because all these chickens are nuisance now. They dig holes and lot. And they didn't have a Bobby Moro, they have chicken running around the hospital.
There's chickens everywhere, but that is a concern, and like you said, there's so many, and that no one's managing that, and it's something to think about.
Maybe I'll.
So Jay, is this strictly a deer hunting initiative, or is it barrel swine also?
It is swine, it's just that the swine would be listed as a game species, so we don't require a license for that.
No, but just to participate in the deer. To me, that, as a beginner hunter, that would be a good place to start, was, shoot some pig.
Oh, yeah, definitely brings your clients.
Let them get that jitteriness out of their trigger finger.
And it's open to even black
So then I could make them start shooting all the pigs that are wrong.
So if you want to teach somebody how to do that, message me and we'll get you signed up for this. So we're also, we hire,
Even Franklin, right?
and black Franklin too. It's like any kind of hunting. It's just that we're getting a deer tag to the hunters, so some kind of way to also try deer. But definitely pigs and black Franklin.
Franklin is good, but I don't have my dog. So,
We like to sort of increase the black Franklin hunting as well. So,
yeah, I have my lab that I trained to hunt it.
I think that's what we needed. It's the only species that you can hunt. But I'm also connecting with Buck again. We're still trying to do our game care workshop, and it's just some logistics that we're trying to go through, but we still want to offer that, and they have people who can help us with that. It's still ongoing. Free workshop.
Is that something we can hold during ESOL, the Guam Invasive Awareness Week?
And it's still the last week. That's still the last week. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm putting May 28th as my basic conversation class, which is that Saturday. So I'm not sure if I can do the workshop and the class. Yeah, and I don't know if people will come to after work, like after 5. I'm not sure. It's part of the class to do it in the morning.
Saturday.
Yes.
All this kind of workshops in the community is always good to check with mayors, because they can help us get people to come. It's so true.
Yes. So I met with the agate mayor today, and he's interested in giving us with another event we're planning. We're trying to do a national hunting and fishing day awareness activity, and his location is okay. So we're just trying to see what we can do. Thank you all.
Thank you for that.
And basically,
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on to the next one. This is Buck Jolly, USDA Wildlife Service.
All right, well, it was a pretty busy quarter in the south with the feral swine trapping program. We caught 102 pigs in the south. And that's on 13 different landowners, which kind of works out to be about almost 8 pigs per landowner. We're working to try to cycle traps through areas quicker, and I put a deadline on it so that after we catch the big group, if we can't get those lingers within a couple weeks, we're gonna move on because there's a list. Although I can tell you the southern list has decreased significantly. Part of that is we were able to shift some additional traps into the south. I think we have like 6 or 7 going right now. That's just because one of our other projects ended, and so we were able to. We don't want them to sit in our yard. So, if you please let people know, we still. I see the list slowly winding down. We'd like to keep getting calls from people.
Well,
So-
in Chico, you get plenty of calls.
Yeah.
That's good for me.
Oh yeah, you've been getting. Well,
We
give us a call.
had to put a fence around my place, and then our neighbors did as well. Because they're building houses, taking their habitat and moving it right from there.
Yeah, that's probably the best. That's the best practice. I put a fence around my house for the same reason. I did want to follow up on. I mean, Eric and you and I talked a little bit about it, but we're past the half-year mark, and you guys have given us half the funding. And at this point, did you bring by that second part of the funding?
So just a couple of things during our last board meeting, the board did approve the extension of the program all the way to the end of the fiscal year. away first, and then we again extend when it gets time to that point. So we are still waiting for the deposit from UOG. So yes, as soon as I did follow up today with Rachel, and she will look into it more, but it should have been released since the last time we spoke. So Rachel contact. Yeah, Rachel spoke up from the UOG financial office.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we're just waiting for that to come out so that way we can just say.
Do you have an estimate? Do you have an estimate of what that would be? I mean, I saw your numbers. I know that it's obviously something that you would not prefer to happen.
Yeah.
We'll push it, and I
Yeah,
know
we'll
that
follow up.
it's already went through the approval, all the approving authorities that needed to kind of push this funding. So BBM already signed off, and it may still just be a POA to be released to BBM so that way they can release it to us. But as soon as BBMR signed off, it should have been smooth sailing. But I'll let you know. I already reached out to UOG today, so
It'll come,
yeah.
Yeah.
but it's not gonna be, we're hoping it's not gonna be a long.
Well, would it, I mean, is it an issue on our end or your end with having to wait for?
You know, that I know in previous years, I mean, I think before I even I see it. So before I got here, you know, there were times where it took a long time to get it.
Yeah.
And so there was a little bit of hesitancy to continue. That's why we're kind of doing the half-year stuff. And then, but we're kind of in the same boat, where we get our federally allocated money that goes, you know, the $2 to the $1 that you guys give us. We don't get it all at once either. So we're kind of getting to the point to where we need some, you know, we would like. Yeah, and so we may end up having to actually shut down the South until we can get it. So, but I'll talk to my state director. Obviously, you know, this is not ideal, but it's, you know, we only get a certain portion of our allocated funds as well. So,
Okay, well, I'll give DOA and UOG a call first thing in the morning to kind of give you an estimate of what we can be expecting now, since it's been a while already.
okay, thanks.
They had a big fiesta with my nephew. I'm really just running out all only
sorry.
three left. And they might be big.
Okay. And then we were talking about, I know you guys want to see a pig grip demonstrated. Now, the outreach that was gonna, or that the 50-year celebration that was gonna occur here, that was postponed because of weather, that
Yeah.
outreach, and that's this coming Wednesday then?
Yeah.
Okay, so our team's gonna bring one by there, and like we talked about, we'll set one up and then.
I don't know.
thought that was for the invasive species demonstration.
Well, the Green Night kind of the spin-off from Charter Day, the USDA APHIS is also going to do a demonstration on the pig rig, but it was kind of, I was kind of concerned just because it's set up the pig rig in the courtyard, and they needed to come APHIS needed to come in a day before.
Did they say a day before my team? I mean, I think they can clear it up in an hour, but it really just depends on the planning. We need grass. We can't do it in the parking lot.
Well, they just didn't want to set it up and leave it over. POG didn't want to set it up and leave it overnight because, you know, then you never know.
You set it up the same day.
Yeah, I mean, that's what would be best. And so if you could designate a place for us out there. And I don't know if we're necessarily, I mean, we're just kind of standing there answering questions, right? I mean, that's, because I was a little bit unclear on this whole, on the, you know, when I originally received the email from Roland, I hadn't been aware of, you know, what exactly the event was. So, I mean,
like capture some two-legged animals. Can we capture them? No, well, because it's the corral trap is pretty much
Yeah,
remote control type.
yeah, I'm sure there's probably one available, maybe we can pull up one of the properties where we've already tried to get things and bring it over. What's the hours of this, of the event on Wednesday? 4 to 8. Okay.
Okay, so I'll just further coordinate with you and
Okay.
and Southern District will have a booth there.
Yeah, right next to it.
Okay. And just as an FYI, during the month of May, I'm going to be off island probably during this meeting, so I'll make sure another.
So, Buck, I got a question for the farmers that go up, based on the president details. So we're having a farmers appreciation thing in May 14th. You guys are aware of that? Yeah. Oh, you guys.
I don't know anything.
Jay, you should know.
Their calendar is not online. Yeah, so I don't know what these.
Farmers appreciation.
So we're having a farmers appreciation May 14th from 9 to 3. So you think we can do something there?
What is the, I mean.
Is that
can
the
you-
farmers co-op in Merido? We can, we have other things being set up there, the aquaculture thing, we got a honeybee processing.
This is going to be a series of booths,
They're
like
gonna have
outreach
few
type
booths
of thing.
or demonstration kind of thing. Then they're gonna have setups of tables of different partners, you know.
Yeah, I think that would be a great opportunity. to
And it's
talk
also,
about the
it's,
program.
that's a Saturday, right? And it's coinciding with the flea market activity, so that there's more people there. So it would be great for you, for them to see your craft, setups.
Okay. Let me,
We're supposed to have livestock and all that, but, we're depending on the livestock guy, but I'm not yet sure how much they're gonna have available here, so. I'll talk to Katrina and we'll make sure we have some space. We need to talk about space.
yeah,
Space, right?
yeah, that'd be great. Let's keep emailing me on it, and that way we can set up the details.
Okay.
But no, I think that's good. That would be a good opportunity to let people know what we're
Yeah,
doing.
get that exposure.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
I think they'll like seeing that.
But if like the mayor is interested in the corral system, do they contact the mother or do they contact the director?
So if they wanted to do it directly, they would contact the company that sells it.
Oh, I mean like your services, like
Oh.
if they wanted to contract out with the mother.
Yeah, I mean, they, you talking about specific landowners within that city or like, or within the village? Or are you talking, I don't know if we work directly for the mayors.
Oh,
But
so how does it, how do they get them?
if a landowner is having trouble with pigs, they'll call our office and we go visit them and do an assessment. We just do it individually.
What about the mayor? I know that we have like agreements with the mayor.
We have agreement with the soil board.
No, yeah, it's us, yeah. Yeah, we connect with.
It's,
Our mayor.
Well, we've been meeting with the mayor, we're trying to set up, you know, because they've been really, vocal too about the feral swine. So
Yeah.
we're trying to figure out ways, and we're trying to work with these guys at the same time together to expand the capacity, right? We're trapping.
we occasionally get calls from mayor's offices saying, hey, we have a resident, and then we just contact the resident. So,
Yeah, but
but I
there is
think a lot of the mayors don't.
communication, that we need to fix it.
Okay, well,
Be
the
more accessible.
active mayor.
We have a number, Miss
Like,
Lou.
Well, we've been talking with Mayor Alec, he's the council president, right?
President,
So we've been talking about doing our pilot program in the south side.
yeah.
So they'll definitely be a part of that if we do anything.
Yeah, definitely contact us. I just told them about the services, but I wasn't sure how it got. With the mayor.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of them should have our, I mean, you just can't call our main office, let us know that we just said, hey.
I think that's what we'll do is we'll re-engage with all the southern mayors, kind of update them that this program is going on and indicate the contact number. But thank you. I mean, that goes back to what Madam Vice is saying about working with the mayors.
Yeah,
We
like
need
giving,
to
like
do that.
helping them to increase their capacity by either giving, getting more traps for USDA to service it or have their own, service to build that capacity. Yeah, we've been discussing that.
I mean, I think last year, if I remember right, when I was looking at the numbers, in the south, most of the pigs we took were out of Interahon, and then the next one was agate, and that's just because of residents calling us. So there are residents aware. I think it's just a matter of, I think sometimes they forget about us, or there's transitioning occurring in the office. But it's just, they just have to call us, and we just, the residents, yeah, or the mayor, they'll call us. I mean, I think it was the Fort Dock mayor's office called us several times because their residents called and then they just called us and then we just contacted the resident and made the visits.
But with, I know that you got your distribution of the traps out there, right? Those are the regular traps that we've been using, right? The corral traps, right? But you have that one, what do you call it?
The pig rig?
Pig rig, right? Didn't we talk about this about setting up a demonstration?
Yeah, you volunteered.
Yeah. So I was wondering if that's possible, man.
I actually just spoke to Sean about that yesterday. He's gonna call you.
Oh, okay, good.
And then
Just to have a.
he can show you it and then, because I know Chelsea wanted to see it too, like
Yeah.
maybe we get it set up.
And I think even we're trying to get the governor, that she wanted, was it her, she was saying, I don't know.
She got one outside her house. We've been trapping at the residence, at the governor's residence. But we moved it since it wasn't a big rig, but we
It's
had,
moving?
No.
Up on the hill?
yeah,
Woo!
we caught several off of there.
Right there?
They were tearing the grass up.
The demonstration that's gonna happen at UOG, and if we do the one at the farmers co-op, and if we do it too for the, invasive species, I think this is a good awareness opportunity for the community. And then maybe the mayor or the governor can give us more money to do it. That's what I'm saying. Build the capacity, because I know you guys are having.
Well, if we set it up at my farm, for example, then you're gonna catch actual, it's a live demonstration, you know what I mean?
And
My
I
part
think
too.
I think it's just important as we talk to people about these big rigs is that, there's a lot of conversation going around that there's an end all solution. That they have their own challenges. You have to put in a lot of posts to set them up. They're not automatic, so you have to check them every day versus you can just monitor them remotely. So for us in our system, they're not really super useful. Like the one we'll set up for the demonstration, we'll put one of our remote cameras on it, but we can't drop anything. And so, but I think it's a good system for individual landowners that want to trap pigs on their own land. But I think once they realize how much work, a lot of people, it's a great idea, but once they realize how much work it is to trap pigs, the middle and the heat. So I just think as we talk about the pig rig, we gotta make sure we explain that it's not the same system.
And that's fine, and you're right, a lot of people, they only see what they see, right? And then when it comes down to doing the work, that's a different story, right? A lot of guys can handle that kind of work. So, but I
think it's great for farmers that want to trap on their property.
Yeah.
I would like, if I owned land and I had big problems, that's what I'd buy, or I'd build something, because they're.
You know what, this guy get, Jane, I don't know what it is, I got a call from agriculture, and they're doing survey, like, what would I like on my farm to deter the feral swine? And then I said, they said, would you like to have like small traps? I said, no, you guys have done that before, they didn't work. I said, maybe electric fence would be good, so I could put it near my dog area. And I don't know about my cassava, I think they're all gone, they've been having fails in there, just crying because I want to expand mine. Only 3 left. You caught 4 of it. You know what, to come with from our agriculture.
Is it in an ADS, ag development services?
I'm going to say, oh, there's gotta be a grant coming down, why are they, and the survey was, would you like to have a trap that you can get? I said, I'm not gonna be going out there with the trap, I said, give the money to USDA and, or, give me a electric fence or something.
Yeah.
But for them to build, they've done that in the past, they spend a lot of money, and people come and rent, or not rent, borrow, and they're supposed to return, and they never return, so it's
We never get them back.
yes, so,
Okay, I'm happy with that.
yes, please, I don't know who called.
And hopefully we'll hear from you guys. We'll set it up.
You know, that's what I'm advocating, you, care to pass.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was explaining to the mayor.
Yeah.
Like, get them,
Yeah, they already,
everything know.
I reinvent the wheel, they just say them, help them with the capacity to get more people and more traps.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, me too, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Buck. Appreciate that. So we'll move on to the next one, Christian. Sorry we made you wait so long here, patiently sitting.
Yes, I just want to provide an update on the law enforcement system plan. We submitted the final
Sorry,
draft.
cannot really hear you, I'm sorry.
Yes, so we submitted the final draft of the law enforcement system plan to the Director of Law Department of Agriculture on March 25th. And so now it's on them to submit it to the government for approval. But we get to receive an update if it was submitted to the governor already. We're meeting with them tomorrow to get an update. Also engage our GIS mapping contractor who are MOU and UOG to develop a web map that identifies the units of land that are included in the law enforcement system plan inventory. So we're excited to get an update on the work that's been done so far. We're meeting with her tomorrow too. So we're excited for that. It's going to be the most comprehensive update of the law lands in GIS. That's the report.
You know, the other day I just checked up on that channel 6 or whatever with Titan, your former boss, right? And then Edwin was on the top about some land, in agricultural land, were you aware?
I'm not sure what it's on.
Oh, man, I can't remember the conversation, it was hard to hear. Never mind, I'll try to follow. No, we're just concerned about, because you guys do a lot of the planning stuff, right? My concern is about agricultural lands under the law or even some others, right? You know, protecting them, right? For agriculture use. Instead of keep changing, it seems like ag lands are just there until somebody wants to do their thing. All of a sudden it's industrial, commercial, whatever. But we
Yes, I
wanna-
don't know if it, we recently had informational briefing that was called by the speaker, the legislature, and that was to the agencies to provide information on concerns of extractive mining or extractive what's it called? Mineral extraction.
Yeah.
So we can get on that. So yeah, there was concerns brought up about proposals for acquiring agricultural land.
Yeah. I'm just concerned about destroying our little available land right for agriculture. Especially if the government wants the agriculture industry to expand, right? You know, not all the land on lawn is good for agriculture.
That's a good point there, like a lot of
Is that?
No, sorry, I know the mask. The big problem is like, take an example, northern lawn is just soil, but we take a lot more work to get it to be productive. There's not much there, but on other areas, I see places that has like thick soil and that's been built up. So I think there should just be, with zoning and stuff, more considerations, like, hey, this probably, unless you're doing some high intensity agriculture that you're literally, like in southern Florida, they break up the coral, pulverize it, use lots of fertilizers. Yeah, then you can do agriculture in that circumstance. But unless you do that, that would be a good place for, buildings and stuff. Same time, and here's just a little criticism I've noticed. I am totally for solar. Don't get me wrong, but I'm seeing solar being put into fields that would probably be better suited for, agriculture. At the same time, why not have like, I'm going to use an arbitrary example. Any shopping center could be, one of the malls, have solar, over the parking lots, to provide shade, and also power. So, instead of taking prime land solar, why not agriculture? That's just, I love solar, but I think that's just, needs a little more work on priorities. But, how can we, make these changes to say, hey, we should be dealing with that instead of gobbling up. Or maybe a compromise, like, okay, you can go ahead and put in, industrial things, but then you need to make sure you actually do have a farm, because there are times and places where both can be side by side. But, I think more often, this is true everywhere in the United States, something has original purpose, a place signs off for a waiver, and, okay, it's a waiver, it's exception, but then you give out waivers all the time, what's the point? So there needs to be just more use of plan and sticking with it. And if there's an exception, it should truly be an exception. And also what they're doing, can they still do something that is beneficial in that area?
Yeah, multi-purpose, right? You use a large building, use a parking facility.
Exactly, like, I'm not sure this would be necessary, perfect and wrong, maybe, but there's a big trend in like starting rooftop gardens, and all that, And since most of the construction here is normally with concrete roofs, that actually might be a viable thing. Same time, having solar over parking lots or solar on roofs.
Any large commercial building can put up an array and have it tied.
Oh yeah, I've seen pictures. I always arbitrary example. Home Depot is full of solar panels, and that's just a multi-use. So and that way the very good agricultural land, yeah, some developers could make more money putting a house on it, but unless that house is part of a farm, and here's the other thing, that needs to be truly part of a farm, not say, yeah, we'll make a farm in it.
No, because that's exactly what's happening right now in Malolo, actually. They have that first solar farm there, which covered up huge amounts of, that were priorly were what they were using that for agriculture for years and years, and now they're installing another large solar farm down there, which is taking up even more. That impacted me also in that area
Yeah, and it's sad because I'm normally totally for solar.
So how can we address this? We're talking right now, so what can we do as a group to address this problem? Who do we go to, legislature? Who?
Two things, obviously legislature is always a potential thing, but remember, this is also, zoning issues too. So, for whatever location that is, whatever village, municipality, make sure that they are, having cohesion. So, as the municipality, whoever's in charge of zoning, make sure they get the message and, realize they also have their own pressures, like everywhere. Hey, this business wants to do this and they'll bring in this jobs or lower the energy bill. Many of those are very legitimate, points. At the same time, we also need to educate them and give them solutions. Like maybe there can be a compromise for, those things like instead of having fields of solar that's fine, hey, that used to be, I'm going to give an argument. That used to be an old garbage dump, I definitely want to plant, things on an old garbage dump. Or that is just a rocky outcome. So, maybe just have a little more plan.
So that Florida landfill thing, it's got this huge big cap there. Why not put it on top of that?
I'm just using that as
No, but
just an example.
that's a good point. They also have one on NAS, the old airport, maybe dump on right near the runway in Teton.
Exactly.
It's a huge, it has
Would you be willing, if I take you to the legislature and talk to people because the legislature is the one that's doing the zoning.
Okay, I could definitely, go
I think
ahead.
that's just in passing.
Right, oh yeah, I
It's
can
a
definitely
valuable
get help.
information.
Yeah, that's not a problem, and the thing is, just also, every legislative person, they're representing the needs of their immediate, district or, community.
Never mind that, we just go and say, hey, this guy was at a meeting and I think it's
Right,
very important.
but the thing is, we have to make, when we go there, kind of speak on the same wavelength, it's like, because they want jobs, they want, lower electricity. But also, right now, how's the food prices right now? Everyone enjoying that, So we have to kind of speak on the same terms. So when we educate them, we also need to be considerate and respectful of their concerns, because contrary to popular belief, I'm going to use a joke, the old kid joke, Captain America, they're not this evil things trying to, cause the harm to the environment. That's the thing you need to realize. That's why being respectfully educating them and also giving them some potential solutions. At the same time, those solutions, we here in Guam doesn't have the same resources California has. So we have to give solutions that are attainable given the local environment.
Well, the same people that advocate for the environment and protecting the earth and all that are the same ones that are demanding the solar panel, but they don't think about where it's going.
Well, I will say this, sometimes I scratch my head on certain things like that, as I said, I'm totally for the environment, but it also comes down to, economics and value. At the same time, you have to express, and sometimes people are narrow vision. So, if you are a strident environmentalist, let's say I'm protecting fish, that's what you're really knowledgeable about, but you might not be looking at the entire picture. That's
Well,
part of the
that
problem.
goes back to the legislature, where they want 50% of the power generated. They didn't care how it got to that point, but.
Well, I'm going to give you another arbitrary example. Now, let's take wind power, okay? Wind power takes up a lot less space, but there is one obvious problem with wind power. Bird strikes, And also, some people might think that giant windmill might not be aesthetically pleasing, But at the same time, one large windmill, wind's producing, which here in Guam, I think is pretty good. They have 5 megawatts. Just one windmill could literally be the entire same thing as solar. Same time, you can still plant whatever you need underneath there, But it just needs to get viable solutions, And with these competing, interests, they normally have their hearts in the right place, but they might have it in a wrong perspective, just because
I agree.
Okay.
You fix this, you destroy this.
Let's just say, if I could fix that, I would become a rich person.
Okay, so I guess that's,
All right.
started out, you didn't have anything else to?
Can I just bring up about agriculture land? Our soil water, we've been talking about trying to get at least 20 acres for our conservation demonstration. Would you be able to help us in that endeavor? Like, we're trying to identify, and I think we know that the chairman went there and did boots on the ground check. And we want to work with the legislature to get 20 acres to use only for the conservation demonstration.
And outreach education.
And
the
outreach
whole thing,
education.
right, would be part of it.
Your office can help us in that endeavor, or do we just go to?
There is a way to do that for any in agriculture and the golf courses.
Maybe we can implement all those ideas that you brought.
Right.
And they say, hey, see, we're going to build this here so that you can park underneath it.
Right, well, that's just an idea, and also relating to one other thing I might mention is, I've been learning about how Guam has all these phantom parks. They used to be community parks of various things that have overgrown or been abandoned.
Which one?
I heard there's lots of them.
What are you talking about?
Community parks.
Yeah, those are all things that.
All the
Right,
parks around.
yeah, and they would be in his inventory, so these are parks that are already owned by, Guam, but for whatever reasons, they've gone out disused, semi-abandoned, and, I've been learning there's quite a few. They might not necessarily be full 20 acres, but there's bits all over. And those would be, maybe some of them might be the potential things to have, community gardens, agroforestry, different things like that. Just a lot out there.
There's a lot like in Honda Village and Dirty Village.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, in fact, I think nonprofit organizations, some of them are stepping in to save park. I know
Exactly.
that the Lions Club.
The other one I
They do
know
like
is,
the
yeah, I know this brings to Island Girl Power, so that's how I know.
The Lion Club, every time they go there, fix it up, paint it, plant trees. Next time they come around, trees, plants were pulled out. I think 2 months ago, they planted trees that, they uprooted.
Okay. So part of the problem there is, it's
Actually,
great.
why would this camera
Okay.
up there?
What you need to do in those situations, and this might.
Hand them those.
Well, we might do like, I'll use an example, like adopt a park,
That's what it is.
You need to get, community engagement and ownership. If they don't have ownership and they don't care, they're going to abuse it, they're going to put their trash there, they're not going to care. So you need to, you can plant every year, and if they don't have any care of the park, you're literally sadly wasting your time. So that's why it's important to, with the local neighborhood and community, to engage with them and give them, ownership of the project.
Easy said than done.
Oh, I know, that's a challenge, but then again, every year you go ahead and plant things, and then 6 months later, it's like, why bother? So we might be worth doing a little more, pre-gaming the situation with interacting with the actual neighborhood and, getting support. Also listening to, the landowners and all that. Granted, maybe about 90% of the people we talk to will just be talk, but hey, if you get those few key people, that's really what we do. But that's a challenge.
We just have to change the mindsets of people, do something, how they value their environment. And it is not an easy task, it's going in circles. But anyway, good idea so that when we get to participate in discussion like this, I'll put that in my pocket. Anyway, great.
All right, so I guess that concludes the partner reports. Thank you guys for all of that.
Oh, I want to add one additional thing for the Forest Service. This, I literally learned. Oh, sorry, I'm used to that. So this is very tentative. I just found out, this morning, and it's subject to change. But my supervisor, Sherry and Christopher, they are wanting to make a visit here to Guam, potentially in June, around June 13th and 14th.
Welcome, USA.
Yeah, but and those dates are tentative. There's still concerns with because Valiant Shield's happening and a few other things. So dates are subject.
Who is that again?
Okay, so Sherry Hazelhurst, she's the director of state and private forestry. So pretty much any agency here that gets money from the U.S. Forest Service, the Guam Agriculture or other things, she's the one who basically funds the money. Okay?
She has the first.
Yes, she kind of oversees it, and she is my supervisor. And Chris Fisher, he's the deputy. So her assistant. In addition, there will be some additional people that will be coming along. I'm not sure if any of you knew Sherry Smith. She was dealing with our entomologist of invasives. She just retired last month, so we have a replacement. She will be coming. So I just wanted to kind of give a look heads up. Right now, the dates are tentative and subject to change. Additionally, some things are going to be discussed, and you probably already heard of it, but there's going to be a bunch of infrastructure grants and stuff that's funded through DC, and some of that money is going to be funded through Forest Service. So there will be more and more discussions as we get more details on that.
I'm wondering if they're coordinating this thing right? All these other federal,
Yeah.
USDA, you know what I mean? They're
It's like a needs its own USDA conference. We'll bring our people out.
Hey,
Yeah.
when they come, tell them to bring the money.
That's right.
well, that's good to know. Thanks. So,
I think I should number.
Yes.
yeah. What's up?
I see that you're gonna have a
Put on your
resolution.
mask, please, we can't hear.
Okay. You're gonna have a resolution for Linda raises. You know when it's gonna be?
Oh, we did already.
Oh, I would have done. Oh, I never hear about.
I don't think we have to ratify it. I don't know. It has to be, officially.
You have a picture of that?
No.
Anybody?
Well, I'll just call them.
Yeah, but she'll help us with that.
Still.
Oh, she's in San Diego.
She, oh,
But she says it from the way we make her work. Because she has that relationship with the farmers that none
yeah,
of us have.
she
makes me feel confident. So
Then a real asset.
she promised us that she'll still be around.
So that's it. Can we get an approval or motion?
I believe Adrian Lorzell.
Oh, he's still.
Adrian's still on. Just message her.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Adrian?
Okay.
Hi, Erica. Are you able to hear me or is my phone connection not good?
Yes, we can hear you.
Actually, try to duck in. There's a lot of wind here. So we find a spot that hopefully is a little bit quieter. Okay. Is that any better or is the connection worse inside?
It sounds better.
Okay. So I just wanted to provide a quick update. So the two initiatives that I'm working on, one is the REPI, and that is for DoD funded conservation on government of Guam land to support endangered species habitat and recovery. That one, we are actually at the point now where I think our target coming out for, I think it's up to $3 million worth of work. And so that's for state agencies. I believe eligible entities could apply for this series of projects that will look at initially. working in Maso and Tagwan, and then also doing some preliminary sort of site preparation work in terms of land surveys and helping GovGuam get their boundaries sorted, what was intended, because a lot of them are referred to by maps that are maybe outdated or place name, and so some of that preparation work. So that RFP should be coming out first week of May, perhaps a little bit pushed back if the reviews take a little bit longer. And then on the Sentinel Landscapes, which is kind of the partner initiative, we did not get the designation this round, but the federal coordinating committee that decides on the designations is very interested in the application. So we will be working with them to look at next steps and potentially trying to receive the full designation in the next possibly 6 months or a year, with a little bit of tweaking to the application to address some of the questions they had. So that was the two big updates that I wanted to provide, especially the Sentinel, because I know you all had been interested in that, and there's been a lot of effort from the partners to help us try to get that application together. So although we didn't get the designation, they did not outright reject it. So I think they're going to allow us some time to address some of the issues that came up with the review. And hopefully we will be getting that designation in the near future. So just if anyone has any questions, you can let me know or send me an email if you think of it later. Thank you.
Thanks, Adrian.
This Adrian.
Is that the only?
Fun fact, Adrian met President Michael Crowder in Spokane.
Oh, yeah.
So they're well aware, and hopefully when he comes out, the or representatives will be meeting. Yeah. So yes, Gage, we'll reach out if we have any other questions, but thank you for all that you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Anybody else?
Well, we have Yvonne.
Is she still there?
Yes.
Ask her if she wants to at least say.
Hi, Yvonne.
Hi, I'm here.
Okay, here's
Half a day.
You have a new partner probably.
So I think I kind of heard introduce yourself.
Yeah, just tell her.
Okay.
Unless there's other things you want to bring up.
Oh, okay. So my name is Yvonne Manglonia Waneza. I am a Planner 3 here at the Bureau of Statistics and Plans. So my colleague Christian is with Coastal and I'm with the Socioeconomic Division. So I'm just going to be a fly on the wall observing, trying to get some insight into all the wonderful projects you're working on. And just as a quick background, so I grew up farming. So my dad's a farmer. And so I'm very interested in, I'd like to invest a little bit more time in the different projects that you have going on. I also, I'm a grant writer for the Bureau. So, and I've managed grants before, so that's a little bit of my background. But if I see any opportunities, I send it to Mike or to Glenn. So I'll just be on the lookout and just be listening in and see if there's any opportunities out there, and I'll shoot it to your organization. Thank you.
Yvonne, your father was my classmate since kindergarten.
Oh really? Piling Manglonia? JT Manglonia?
Yes, Piling, right?
Oh, yes. Yes. I will, I'm sorry, can I get your name? I will let him know that I spoke with you today.
Yeah. Oh,
My name is Angie Polino.
Oh, Angie Polino. Okay, yes, for sure. I will let him know.
Rock family. Yeah, we own the Bear Rock.
Okay. Okay, so you live at Lada.
Yeah, just tell him that I said in the meeting that I used to beat him up.
I will let him know.
He's still around, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
thank you, Yvonne. maybe we'll be hearing from you again at our next meeting or something in between.
Yes, please send me an invite. And then whatever projects you have going up, I'll try to also disseminate any information, any outreach you have. I'll send it out to my groups, my group chats, and all my mommy chats, and let them know of any opportunities for, especially with the youth programs. If you have some of that coming, I'll let them know as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for waiting. That's the last one, right?
We have the resolution. Oh,
Okay.
but now we can do the acceptance.
We didn't accept yet, right? Yeah, so can we do
Okay,
that?
move that we accept all our partners' reports and thank you, a lot of interesting information. We just need now to take action on them. I'm just wondering how we can address all the issues that were brought up. Of course, every partner needs funding, right? So, even us, so we can give them the money that he's waiting for him to do his program, and we understand that. But we promise that we'll keep in touch and we'll do what we can as the district, Mr. Chair, to move forward and collaborate with our partners, right? But interesting, very interesting, builds our desire, our passion to be more passionate. I really like so. Mr. Chair, I would like to say we hope to look and looking forward for your continued participation and collaboration. We need to have those pigs, my farm.
Can I also say, thank you very much for having the meeting from 3 to 5. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, that's good.
Thank you,
Because
Eric.
we try to make sure we accommodate you guys.
Yes.
So we're always looking, every month we talk about what's the best way.
Yes, wait.
This is the best.
Try something
So,
new.
Yeah.
We're drifting away, so I move that we accept all the partnership.
We have a problem, one of our directors actually teaches, so that's a schedule problem also.
That's been a problem in the past
We can work it, we will do our best.
with Benny.
Yeah. So, any second? Okay, all in favor? Thank you very much. So we got one big thing, we would ask, Carol to read, this resolution that we presented to her, I forgot what's the date. We did 2 weeks.
That was, March 20.
3 weeks.
It'll be 20.
Yeah, when we did, we just met.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was just really last minute because we thought she would read Monday or Tuesday.
It was March 26th.
25th,
26th.
26th. Yeah, so we just had a real quick luncheon with her.
Okay, so this is going to read it. Southern Soil and Water Conservation District, Resolution 2022-002, honoring Linda Paulino Rages, partner in conservation. Whereas Linda Paulino Rages began her service as a Southern Soil and Water Conservation District Outreach Specialist in 2017 and has retired from the district on March 30th, 2021. And whereas Linda has served in local government for more than 20 years, serving as an educator, family social worker, agricultural management specialist, and has volunteered for many nonprofit groups. And whereas Linda is a farmer and has served as a director at agricultural boards, including Table and the Farmers Cooperative Association of Guam. And whereas Linda has been a committed and dedicated public servant and has worked tirelessly and cooperatively to promote the conservation of Guam's precious natural resources and the agricultural communities. And whereas Linda has been involved in numerous initiatives of great importance to the Southern District and has served in her role as an outreach specialist with integrity, humility, and compassion. And whereas during Linda's tenure as the outreach specialist,
She has developed a positive and helpful relationship with the district's members and various partners, including the University of Guam, Guam Department of Agriculture, United States Department of Agriculture, Guam Environmental Protection Agency, and more. And whereas Linda is a well-respected member of Guam's farming community and has cultivated a strong network with farmers, she serves as a resource and advocate for farmers, encouraging and guiding them to participate in the agriculture and conservation programs. In this effort, farmers achieve support and additional funding sources, resulting in strengthened agricultural operations, improved livelihood, and diversified economy. And whereas Linda continues to advocate for the importance of stewardship and conservation and has worked cooperatively with the districts on issues of importance, including soil quality, wind and water erosion, pest pressure, long-term protection of land, and source water depletion. And whereas the Southern Soil and Water Conservation District wishes to recognize Linda for her dedication and excellent service to the people of Guam and partnership in conservation, and express appreciation for all her work. And
Okay, now therefore be it resolved that the directors of the Southern Soil and Water Conservation District hereby honor Linda Polino Reyes for her long and distinguished career in local government and the agriculture community, and her commitment and dedication and passion to conservation. The Southern Soil Water Conservation District hereby expresses its appreciation for her service to our island community and wishes her a healthy and fulfilling retirement. Adopted and ratified this 13th day of April.
Mine better than 3 pages, okay? She's 2 pages. She's my sister, so whatever she learns, she learns from me. She learns more
So thankfully,
Yeah, we wanted
Yeah,
to.
me too.
Even when she was back here at the States during this COVID thing, she was really still helping us out.
You know, on Guam for people from the States, of course, we cannot help, we're all related to Guam, almost all of us. So I have relatives working under me when I was a school principal, and I always tell my relatives, during working time, you have the union to protect you. After working time, how? You no due process. Guilty as accept. But during working time, I said, I have to follow all the guidelines, right? I don't want them to file for hostile environment. But I said, after working hours, never mind.
Even Dr. Barber complained that, remember our workshop in Iran, I had no choice but to come because Linda called him like
17
17 from the States. And then when she finally told him there's food, he said, okay. So, yeah, that's her
I
power.
remember-
She's really good.
I remember Robin describing her as the gateway to the mountains. That's true, yes. But she's still around, and she's my sister. I can order her. No due process.
Okay, thank you for that, Carol. So the next one is open forum, but I guess we're good. We already did that. So, announcements, the next board meeting will be April 20 and May 4th.
And I just want to wish everybody happy Easter.
Yeah.
And, connect with the Lord. So anyway, happy Easter. Thank you. Thank you, Carlos.
I'm assuming that the future meeting will be a similar format to this, unless there's a change with long rules.
I believe so. But, we did make it up here at UOG, but every once in a while, we might do it down south, so you guys are good with that.
If we do it down south, where would we
In Rohan,
do we
community center cook.
And they'll feed,
We used to do that there often.
and they'll feed us, the mayor there will feed us. He's my nephew, I'll just tell him after waking up.
Okay. All right. Okay, so, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you all in favor, say
I.
Thank you guys.
This is always, I always.
for the first, live in person.